That's why he's having sex 4 times a week.
You should say.
My Lord.
Sorry, babe.
You are the best part of me.
Brother was on some Love Jones shit right there. So, baby, you complete me. You understand?
Right.
Look at him, he's crying right now.
Oh my God.
He definitely
You're getting sex
cried.
tonight.
Well, this is the thing. It is a scheduled night, by the way.
Nice. Welcome to After Love, episode 6, the finale of Black Love. The drinks are flowing. Apparently the sex is happening.
Yeah.
Tonight is the night.
Salute.
As much as possible. Y'all need to know our schedule.
Yeah, I mean, you said it.
I'm just saying,
But I like that, bro.
I wrote a blog post called Sex on a Monday, and I didn't realize how many men actually read my blog until I wrote that. And then everyone started emailing me secretly, like, that was the ball.
Yeah.
Sex on a Monday.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to have to tell us more about that.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's a good day.
Yeah,
I think more than Monday.
we well, I mean, we do
Maybe
it.
4 times.
We tried to, well, first we decided on 3 times was realistic, but 4 times was hopeful, right? So we wanted to just make sure we connected as much as possible. So we have these anchor days where it's kind of like, okay, maybe today got out of the hand, we might missed it, but we know when we can reconnect.
Can you have do you get bonus points if you make your days? Does it like, say if you make your day, and you like, and then you add an extra day. So for instance, you missed a day, do you add an extra day like a Sunday?
Sometimes I tack on 2 in a day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If we get early,
Guys, how? You have mad children. Seriously, map this out.
All right,
So
so
actually, go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
you go, because I talk too much.
It's when we get in shape that we get mad children, I feel like. It's like
Yeah.
every time I get my body back.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Start looking good to your king like that.
It's easy to get pregnant when you're
yeah, I don't know.
super healthy. I guess.
No, actually, we just tried this out, but it was like quiet time, right? So quiet time was ending, and the kids all came out, but the baby was still asleep. So we were like, okay, the baby's still asleep. Let's just put the kids downstairs, let them watch TV.
Yep.
And then let's just
go.
Let's
And she was like, you ain't really trying to do it right now. I was like, yes, I am. I was like, watch. You know what I'm saying? And
Don't believe me.
It was midday.
It was
It was
midday.
bright.
It was
the
bright.
kids were in the house.
Yeah.
They
Awake.
were awake.
So let's map this out for those that do not know. How old are these children?
We have a 7, a 6, a 3, and a 1-year-old.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're too tired at night. Daytime is the only time you're
Actually,
awake.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I actually, well, we were having some I just felt like he wasn't my friend. And I needed the connection. I just needed love.
Yeah, we were having a moment to where we've kind of switched roles recently.
Yeah.
She's come along, she's working with me now, she's helping me make some big decisions, and it's been like we've been seeing each other as business partners and not so much as husband and wife.
Yeah.
So that disconnection was happening, and I was having a hard time like feeling it, and she was just like, look, I need this, which is rare. Before all of this, like we started to make this transition in our marriage, she would never say anything like that. You know what I mean? So it's been quite a journey.
So take us back for a second, because one thing that you mentioned was that you guys waited to have sex so you got married, right? So now this is like a major component to your marriage. Not that it isn't to most, but there was a shift that you were mentioning.
Yeah, well, Yvette grew up she didn't actually know anything about sex before we got married,
Bless her heart.
Right?
What does that mean?
Yeah, right. So like,
She good people.
let's
She doesn't know anything about it. She knew about it. She hadn't had it.
Right.
She literally was like, no one told her anything about the process.
So the message that I got growing up, like I grew up in the church, and so it's like, wait to have sex until marriage.
Right.
My dad told me, like, keep your legs closed. My mom said, not very much. And, I think, I remember in the 5th grade when you had to go into that one class where they taught you like the basics or whatever,
Right.
but I don't think I really knew what was going on. And then I watched soap operas with my mom. I watched, TV. So I've seen like
Intimacy.
yeah, but I just didn't
TV
know.
intimacy.
Yeah. Like I literally
Yeah.
didn't know what goes where.
Yeah. It was hard. It was a hard
like,
wedding night.
Yeah.
Because I was like,
You don't know that?
I'm sitting here like, very confused and hurt.
Why you got your clothes on?
Yeah.
That's not how it's
Did you
done.
know that she was a virgin?
No, he knew I was
knew,
a
but
virgin.
when she the way we interacted was like, oh man, she was definitely curious about it. Right. So I thought that she had information and she understood. And I don't think she knew not to tell me because she didn't know. You know what I mean?
Right. That was actually kind of cool though. You know what I'm saying? You learned that area together. That's actually it's very rare. You know, it wasn't our experience.
It's
you know
different.
what I'm saying? That's like throwback love.
Yeah.
Because now everybody, let's get it. Let's see if it worked.
Well, I think
see if it's real.
Well, real quick, how old were you guys when you met, and how old were you guys if you?
Let's see, 32, 33?
30s.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
I was
We were in our 20s, early 20s.
24 and 20.
Yeah, that's
Well,
When
no.
we met.
Oh.
Yeah.
When we met? No, but okay.
Well, that's
When we
that's
started
young
dating,
then.
yes.
I mean, I wouldn't expect. I mean, that's doesn't sound so out of the box. So you
Yeah.
have
Right,
sex.
right.
I wish that for my children, but
Yeah.
in this day and world.
Yeah.
That's nice though.
20, that's out of college, you're done, and
But
you got
see-
through college without no raging teenage hormones.
I mean, I went to a Christian college, but that doesn't
They have
mean-
hormones.
I know.
Yeah, they wild over there.
Yeah,
No, when
they
I-
usually say them church girls crazy though. They wild.
Yeah, she was like she was like that girl in church who was like, oh yeah, like that's the girl. You know what I mean? Like everybody was kind of like hoping their son would marry, that type thing. But it was actually a very difficult thing because I had to be like this patient like person where I'm kind of like, okay, let me help you get through this.
Right.
But the whole thing is she didn't want to talk about it. So what happened was we were like going through this for years. I mean, it was like 6 years of just really not clicking. And so we had a couple babies in the process. Now, we did have sex. It just wasn't often. It was something she did as a requirement as a wife, not to like for herself as pleasure.
Right.
And so I got to a point where I just kind of had given up hope, and I reached out to a friend of mine and I was like, bro, I don't know what to do here. You know what I mean? Like I can't get through to my wife. She won't talk to me, And then his wife hit her up and gave her like some literature that she could read. And then she kind of got to the point where she was like, I know what God is calling you to in your life and your business, and I don't want to be a stumbling block for you. So I'm willing to kind of press forward and learn more about myself and learn more about my body so this could be something that we can
I
talk
would have
together.
thought it would
That's
be
dope.
easier for you because you could be a teacher and show her like things and experience those things together and make it like if you think about your first sexual experience, that's an opportunity to teach.
There
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I feel like that was a huge thing for me too because I wasn't really willing to talk to him about it. So the dialogue, like for him to be able to be like, "Did you like this?" I'd be like, "I don't want to talk about it." Or,
Oh, so after you just
yeah,
shut
it was just like,
Right.
"Okay, we did that. We're done. It's over.
cool.
Like, let's move on to
Don't
the
touch
next
me.
thing." Yeah, we're good. That wasn't a conversation that I was willing to have, and I was dealing with my own insecurities of, like, I knew how many people he had been with before. I'm like,
I shouldn't have never said nothing.
No, you shouldn't have.
Y'all, I have
You always
I'm
gotta
like,
divide by two.
This is so not the direction I was expecting this to go because from my memory, you weren't trying to kiss before marriage.
Right.
he was not.
Right. Now, you saying that like it's an insult.
I'm just surprised. She said you had been
You
with
thought they were
X number-
both. So you thought they were both virgins?
What I'm saying is these people, these nice people sat down with me and told me that Glenn wasn't trying to kiss before marriage. And so Yvette's saying that you had
Because he
been
had
with...
sinned so badly prior
Yes.
that he was trying to come into it clean.
I know, literally. Like I knew what happens when you open up that door. It's really
Right.
hard to bring stuff back. You
Right.
know what I mean? So like once you start getting going, like I can't turn this off. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and I know
yeah.
you were not trying to go there. So let's just not even start the process.
But Glenn had to even end that, like when we were dating and he would be like, I don't want to kiss because, it makes other things happen. Like he had to educate me on how a man's body responds to whatever. Like I just,
Everything.
I was completely,
A touch on the hand, huh?
Yeah, like all you gotta say is out of us. We ready. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Like I didn't have that education. I was completely oblivious.
So no dating in high school.
No.
Interesting. Okay, so y'all, we supposed to be talking about longevity
Okay.
right now. So okay. Obviously, people talk about how sex is such an important part of a marriage, and it is an important part of a partnership. But what's interesting to me and what I've observed is how it can mean different things to different people, right? There are people who can have sex mad. There are people who can't. There are people who can have sex, to fulfill an obligation, and they're okay with that. And there's people who can't. And so, for you guys, this conversation has been such a big chunk of your marriage. Just getting to a place of like being on the same page. Do you feel like you're there now?
I feel like we are there. I feel like, I mean, as far as sex is concerned, for sure.
There's a piece.
Right? No, am I tripping?
So are you
There's some
enjoying
alignment.
yourself?
I am enjoying myself.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, girl.
I feel like y'all clapping for me.
Take your glasses
We're
off.
clapping for
All you gotta
her.
do is take
We're
off her
clapping for
glasses.
her
As soon as you take off
empowerment.
your glasses, you ready. She like, baby, you take off your glasses, I take off my glasses. It's about to go down.
Did you say you don't want to clap?
No, I said I felt like y'all was applauding me. That's what I thought that
We were
Wow.
applauding Yvette's
okay.
empowerment.
She's enjoying.
Listen, women should be applauded.
It needs to be
100%.
enjoyed, or it doesn't need to be.
Exactly.
100%. And for me, like, I really wanted to make sure that it wasn't just about me.
Yeah.
You know, it just
Yeah.
felt so selfish. And so
Yeah.
I was like, we just
Well,
opened.
you know how to remedy that.
I don't know what you're saying.
I'm just saying, you
Yes.
know how to make it about her.
Yeah,
So-
100%. But it was different if someone won't allow you, right? If they won't, like when
Or they
one
don't
thing-
feel comfortable.
Yeah, like she was having trust issues. She didn't, it took her a while to like let go, you know? And so right now, where we're at is just kind of like, like I need this from you. And it's mutual. It's not just one way.
That's
Right,
nice.
And so we have grown a lot. We started out as like, this is rough, but I always knew that what we were getting ourselves into was a journey,
Yeah.
and that one day it would get better.
Can I also say something that's like moving me right now is sort of the experience of doing this for however many years, and Tommy and I interviewing hundreds of couples. And like, I love the reveal of like the journey of marriage, right? There's a lot of people who are just like, get married and you happy forever, and that's just what it is. And like and also you guys being like influencers and people being able to see your relationship and your family grow, and then to learn the depth of what that takes is like super vulnerable and super important, because we all just out here like, oh, they're so cute. I want that. I want 10 years with that. And these beautiful melanated children. Yeah. But like the work that takes and the patience with one another and the growth and like learning together. I have a question for y'all.
Okay.
19 years.
Yes.
What would you say, I think I know your answer, but what would you say you have learned from each other that has made you better?
For me, I think patience is literally probably one of the most important words, because a lot of times you will want certain things to go a certain way. You would think things are going to be this way, and they may not be there, but eventually they come that way. And I'm not that patient of a person, so it was one of the things I've had to learn. And then the other number two would be listening. You got to listen too, because you got to understand what you're dealing with. So you kind of got to just like fall back, and you kind of have to absorb it and then come up with a solution, or try to find a way to come to mutual ground. Like I wouldn't have done that. I wasn't definitely not doing that in the beginning, because I didn't know how to at that point.
Yeah.
So I think over time you learn that it's the best way to play team ball. You can't be selfish. That's what I think.
That's the truth.
So I think it's just a game of kind of catch up. I think everybody's at a different place at a different time. And so what you do is the biggest thing is to allow the person to grow and allow the person to be themselves. And then, sometimes you're leading and you're in a whole different headspace, you're in a whole different place, and you're evolving at a different time and space. And so just allowing your grace for your partner to catch up. And we're all like, sometimes he's here and I'm here, and he's like, I wish he would catch up and just get it so we could just manifest this thing together. And then sometimes I'm leaving him in the dust and I'm like, you just don't get it. So it is that, I guess that's it, the patience, but also allowing through grace your partner to grow and to evolve on their own terms.
One of the things that you guys joked about on the show was that it took you, we joked that it took you like 18 years to realize, just let him have what he wants, child, So would you say that that's a part of it, is like, and also, does that really come to us?
It's not natural.
Yeah.
I think as women, we are the spiritual guide, and we want to kind of shape things into what we want them to be. And I feel like men do that too. So that's not a natural behavior. That's a learned behavior. And it's very hard. And so I think one of the things that I talked about was just really getting into yourself and knowing who you are and doing what you need to do for you. Because if you put all your focus here, you're going to be disappointed in the long run. So the focus has to be inward. And with that comes a whole bunch of responsibility for where the relationship is. So that, I think that's my answer to that. No, I know I say that, just let him do what he wants to do.
I love that answer.
But
it's not all the way true.
It's not, but it's not, like recently we're in COVID and he went to produce and direct this show that was a very bright idea. And under normal circumstances, I would have been like all for it. But because of COVID, did I want him to go to Florida and do a fishing show and be on a boat with a crew and I really didn't. And so it's what are you going to do when you come back here? Like, are you sleeping in the guest room? Like, how are you handling this? So there's certain things and I think if it hadn't been so important to him, he may not have gone because he knew that I was not agreeable.
Right.
But it was important to him, so he went and he did it. And that's the time when you just have to say, okay, this is important to him. This is what I mean. He's going to do this. So am I going to end the relationship over it? Am I going to move out? Am I going to get in? Like, what am I going to do? So that's when I have to kind of reconcile with myself. How is Kristen going to handle this situation without just going completely crazy and off the rails? And that's when you have to just reel it in and focus on yourself and inside.
I definitely
right?
There are.
Right. So like what your decisions are, it might alter how I treat you and what my decisions are.
Right.
But do what you want to do, because I'm definitely going to do what I want to do.
Something else that's interesting is that I remember you talking about stepping out of his business into your own being something that was really successful for you all. And you all have just started working together.
Right.
And listen, I obviously work with my husband daily, every day, all the time, 365. 365.
Right.
But that's yours. You're not in his business. It's your business.
It's ours.
Right.
It's, you know.
But it's a lot.
But would you, how is this going? How is this going for
Cody,
you?
what
I
do you
have
have to say
lots
about
of things
that?
to say about that. No, what's funny is that it can go either way, right? There's for sure times, and there will be a time in our life where it's just better to just like, let's just not right now.
Right.
Right. Right now, Black Love, which is we do a lot of things together, but this is like the main thing that we spend a lot of time on together.
Right.
It requires both of our attention.
Absolutely.
But we have had to delineate, like, just don't talk to me about this, don't talk to me about that. Okay, cool.
Sure.
So, have you all gotten to a place at all where there's certain things where you're just like, don't talk to me about that?
We came to a point where, like, just recently we were like, hey, we need to have a cutoff time at the end of the day where we just don't talk about work anymore. But this is super new to the point where I was like questioning whether or not I should be doing what I'm doing because I didn't have her support. And she was like, well, I'm supporting you, I'm here,
Right.
But I didn't have her on board in which I needed, because our family is a family business. We have children, we are on camera, it matters how she is in the film, you know what I mean? And so, do you have anything to say about what I'm talking about?
No, keep going.
Cool. So she was kind of like off, like, man, like, I'm helping you as much as I can. I don't know what you want me to do, and like, I think that, I'm supporting as much as I can. And I'm like, well, there's things that you are so great at and that you do that I could really use your help with, and I don't want to tell you what to do. I just want you to own it and find your own place in there.
That's nice.
But she wanted me to tell her what to do. It was like such a weird conversation, and we were having a conversation for 2 years. And that's kind of why I cried at the end.
Yeah.
Because I was in the middle of those emotions, and I still love her. Yeah, so we were having like this 2-year conversation. It was, basically about how we were gonna work together and merge this thing, but I know she believed in it, but I think she wanted her own identity, and she was getting kind of overwhelmed with motherhood and being a wife, and she was just like, wait a minute, what about me? And I'm just like, well, I actually haven't been thinking about myself for years because I've been trying to keep us alive. And so I think what happened was we got to a point where I kind of broke down and almost quit, and I just was like, you know what? I won't try to be a business owner. I won't try to, create residual income. I'll just be a YouTuber and we'll just ride this thing until it falls off. And then she was like, wait, you're gonna quit? And I'm like, yeah, I'm done. Like, I can't do it. And then that's when she, once again, stepped up and was like, I don't want you to stop doing this. Here's what I can do to help, And I was just kind of like, well, why? I've been saying this for years. You know what I'm saying? Like, what happened?
Which I think speaks to the theme of like, what did you say, longevity? Right. Because I feel like so many people oftentimes give up so easily.
That would have been an off-ramp for a lot of people.
And Glenn, I don't know where he gets his staying power from. Like, y'all already heard him talk about his 6 years of bad sex and he like,
but he knew that he was gonna make it.
He didn't even use those
like,
words,
get
though.
through these
Just to
6
be
years.
clear, he said it was six rough years. It was a journey, but he didn't use those words.
My bad.
Respect.
I genuinely believe that there is something in him, and we often talk about like having a good work ethic in marriage.
Yes.
But there's something in him that allows him to keep saying the same things over and over and over until I actually hear it or get it.
That's what I was just saying. Sometimes your partner's here and you're here. And the thing about a marriage is if you want to grow and move into a forever land, you have to understand that sometimes you have to give them room to catch up. And that's what his strength is. He has given you room. And trust me, in your marriage, there's going to be times when you are ahead and he hasn't caught up and you're going to have to wait for him. So that's what it is.
That didn't happen like 5 or 6 times already.
I feel like it. I feel like that.
It's definitely because you're not always on the same. It's very rare that you just all wake up and you're all on the same page. And the thing about it is, you don't have to work in the same business, Cody, but the marriage, and he hates when I say this, but marriage is a business. So I'm in the Bellamy family business. It doesn't mean that we have to work together, but as far as what we're creating for our children, our legacy, our trust, our life, our future, it is absolutely a business, and people make a big mistake thinking that marriage isn't. Now, do you have to have the intimacy and you have to have the other components too? Absolutely. But whether you are an engineer and she's a lawyer, there is still a family business that needs to be taken care of at the end of the day, and you have to educate yourself, be financially literate, and handle your family business. And that is very, very important. So yes, marriage is a business. And I know that's not romantic. He's the romantic.
Well, he shook his head when you said it. He was.
Again, it's taken him 19 years to agree to that. But it's out of him seeing it. It's the truth. Like it took him. He's very romantic. He's very, whimsical or fantasy, or he's a very positive, optimistic, amazing human being. So he doesn't see, when all the shit storm comes, he would never see it. He sees the rainbow, and he says, "I can find the shit storm in a rainbow." So that's the difference.
She's looking for it.
No, I'm not looking for it. But there's something about being prepared and handling business, and not just thinking that you're going to wake up one day and it's all going to be taken care of.
Right.
You have to do the work, and the work is the 19 years we've built a Bellamy family business, and that's it. Whatever he does for a living, if he's a truck driver tomorrow, if I'm whatever, that's what we have.
Yeah, that remains.
I just want to say, Kristen, what you just said about sometimes you're up here and then I feel like that negative space is where love fills. You know what I'm saying? And so I literally was waiting, but I knew I wouldn't get it when I wanted it.
It'll come.
Yes. But you know what I'm saying? Like, that's where it was. It's not anything about me. It's like, that's what the love we have together.
That's where the love lives.
That's where the love lives. Like right in between
That's
that.
the gray area.
Yeah.
And that space is also where your faith is too. Like a lot of people don't realize that, love is one thing, but your faith in your love is in a whole nother level.
Yeah.
It's your faith in your love. It's like, it's how much you believe in it and what you're willing to do because you do believe in it to make it work. You know what I'm saying? Whether that's patience, whether that's, explaining to how you feel to each other, whether that's making the time, scheduling. There's a lot of components to having faith in your love. If you do nothing, you get nothing. Do you understand what I'm saying? So to me, it's like, if you can always remember to respect the faith in the love, you will always show up. And it might not be the same. So you'll show up this way, she'll show up that way, I'll show up this way, but you will show up. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
You showed up when you were needed. You didn't. It wasn't your dream or your goal to figure that out or help him out in that.
Right.
You wanted him to do that, but when you realized that it took you stepped up. And so that's what a relationship is. Because you of course you want your own identity to do your own thing. but you step up when it's needed. And
Mama had to be there. Like when Mama was needed, Mama had to come put the grits and the eggs and the bacon.
And you know what's really awesome about it is the fruit that we're able to see as a result of it.
Like immediately when she came on, everything changed.
Wow.
Everything. And she got so much stuff in place, and I was like, because I can't fill a role I can't fill. I know what I'm good at.
Right.
And you're better at a lot of different things, you know what I mean? So she filled the space, and it's been amazing.
I love it. I also feel like the lesson, the theme, is the faith and the love, right? It's like the gaps where we are not in the same place is about that faith that you have that we'll get there. And that's how you make it to 10 years and 19 years and 100 years.
that's why you marry for love, because that fills the gap.
The child.
Because there's so much up and down.
Yes.
You know, a lot of people don't. They marry for all kinds of reasons. But the best thing I did is marry for love, because it fills that gap and that void when things are tough. Like, who's going to want to live with, how many people do we know getting divorced after COVID? I mean, my God.
A billion.
Like so many.
Yeah.
Because they just can't stay in the house for 4 months together. Like that, you know what I mean? Where that's the least of our worries.
Right.
Yeah. Well, to faith.
To faith in your love. To faith in your love. May Jesus reign on your love. And y'all have grits and gravy and
And
cornbread.
good sex. Thank God you got there.
4 times a week at least.
Oh, man.
Well, now you're just showing off.
Right, exactly. Thank you guys so much for joining us for the finale of After Love, the official Black Love After Show. This is it. See you next season.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh.
Yes. How you get it scheduled?